Sun mapping your garden will help you buy the right plant and place it in the right location. Plants grow best if you give them the right amount of sun, and the only way to do that is to know how much sun each of your garden spaces has. In this video, I'll show you a very easy way to get this information, and I'll show you how to develop your own personalized sun map. Sun mapping your garden will help you select the right place for each plant. You just bought a new plant that likes to grow in shade, and you are walking around your garden looking for a place to put it. You are looking for a shady spot, but if it is very cloudy, you can't tell which part of the garden is shady. It's all shady today. Even if the sun comes out, how do you tell the difference between shade and part shade? You can't unless you stand there all day. Many gardeners plant in spring or fall when trees do not have leaves. It is very hard to identify a shady spot at this time of year. As a new gardener or an experienced gardener in a new location, it is very helpful to have a sun map of the garden. Then when you are looking for a place to plant your new special purchase, you won't make a mistake. What is the difference between sun, shade, and part sun? Have a look at a plant label or check a plant online and look for the light recommendation. In virtually all cases, the best information you get is sun, shade, or part shade, part sun. Nobody tries to fine-tune this to give you the exact number of hours the plant likes because that is too difficult, and it doesn't matter. Plants are not that fussy, and other factors like water can be more important. What is the difference between part shade and part sun? Some people try to define these more precisely, but it is really not necessary. I consider them to be the same thing. Full sun is at least 6 hours of direct sun with no shadows. Part shade is 4 to 6 hours of direct sun. Shade is less than 4 hours of direct sun. All you need to do is assign one of these categories to each area of your garden. Start by making a map of your property. This is much easier than it sounds. Take a piece of paper and sketch your property. Graph paper is easiest to use, but any sheet of paper will work. It is helpful to get things in scale, but that is not necessary. What is important is that you can easily identify each existing garden area, as well as any potential future gardens. It is a good idea to include the house, shed, patio, fences, etc., because these will help you identify the location of gardens. Here is an example of one I did. It could be made better with a tape measure and ruler, but that is not necessary. Once you are finished, make 5 copies of the map. Pick a day that is sunny with limited cloud cover. Go to the garden and take note of where the sun hits the ground directly and where you have a shadow. A shadow line is the separation between these two areas. Take one of your maps, draw in all of the shadow lines, and then shade in the shadow areas. Repeat this 4 times during the day to see how the shadow changes throughout the whole day. Using the times 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. works well. Make a map for each time. Some people record values every hour, but that is not necessary. We don't need that kind of accuracy to know where to put plants. Shadows change with the time of year, and this effect depends very much on where you live. There is almost no change close to the equator. The sun rises and sets in the same spot all year long, and therefore the shadows are the same all year long. As you move away from the equator, the point at which the sun rises is different throughout the year. The location at midday also changes. In my garden, the sun is almost overhead at noon in the summer, but it's much nearer the horizon in winter. This seasonal change means that shadow lines also move as the seasons change. If you are near the equator, you can measure shadows at any time of year, provided deciduous trees still have their leaves. For areas that see a lot of seasonal change, it is best to make the measurements near midsummer. Now it's time to prepare the final sun map. Take the 5th copy of your map and place the other 4 maps around it. You're going to use the information on the 4 hourly maps, summarize it, and then use it to create the fifth one. This is a lot easier than it sounds. Pick a point in the garden and check all 4 maps to see if they are sunny or shady. If at least 3 maps show it as sunny, mark the spot as sunny on the 5th map. If at least 3 maps show it as shady, mark it shady. Areas that are neither sunny or shady are marked as part shade. See, I told you it would be easy. You can use colored pencils to color code things or just use a letter designation, whatever works for you. Now repeat this process for other areas in the garden, focusing mostly on the garden beds. When you're finished, your whole garden will show one of 3 designations: sun, shade, or part shade. Here's the finished map I created. You don't have to be any more accurate than this. Next time you're walking around the garden, trying to decide where to put a plant, use the sun map to determine the perfect location. I keep a copy in my tool shed right next to the shovel, so it's always handy. You can use this map all year long, so now when you're planting in spring and the trees still don't have any leaves, you'll know exactly what spots are shady.